Good day. My name is Michael St. Amy. This is the Concentric Home Solution Woodworking channel. If you're new to this channel, I would like to invite you to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the bell notification. If you're a regular, I would like to thank you for watching the videos and for being a subscriber. In this video, I'll be giving you a brief tour of my favorite modeling software by the name of FormZ. Okay, this is the website. The software comes in different flavors and I just wanted you to see that. Let's go to products. There's a free version of the software that you can check out. It's not going to have all the features. I happen to have the Pro. So before I got too deep into showing you the features of the Pro, I want to let you know that there are different versions. There's a spot in here that shows comparison, feature comparison. Here it is. Here it is right here. So I will notate this website for you. And you can see the various features and capability from the free to the Pro. Basically, that's what I wanted to show you. You can go through this yourself. If you happen to get the free or the junior, there would be some features that I will show you here that you may or may not have. Also, to give you an idea of pricing. And by the way, this program is available for both Windows and Mac or purchase. Okay, here they all are. The Pro is just under 1,000. The Junior is 500, has a lot of features. And the free is free. Now there are add-ons to it. Like I will show you some rendering, and the render package I have for them is an in-house package. I think it's in-house, it's done by them. It's called Render Zone. That's what I use. So the Pro with Render Zone is $1,400 approximately. The Junior with Render Zone is $890. The free would not have a render zone or any other rendering engine for that matter. Now you can get a little bit upgraded rendering package with it for $1690, and that's with V-Ray for the Pro, and for Junior it will be $1190. I don't care about that very much, so the render zone is the highest level that I'm willing to pay for. With that done, let's get out of this. Looking at the program is going to remind you a lot of SketchUp, but this is not SketchUp. Though it's not as well known as SketchUp, this program is a whole lot more powerful than SketchUp. So you have all your basic shape. Each one of these icons, when you click and hover over it, it has more tools underneath it. Like for example, these are geometric shapes you can choose from, and each tool has options. So right now I can draw this as a flat surface, as a 2D surface. I could draw it as a 2D surface that's like a wall, and I could draw it like a solid. I'll show you for each one of them. Extrude it straight up as a solid, and it is a solid. This is where this is different from SketchUp. SketchUp, each one of these are surfaces, and inside of it is actually hollow. It's just planes. I could turn these into planes, into surfaces, but as it is default is a solid, and I'll prove that to you in a second. One of the features is that you can draw on objects, kind of like SketchUp. When I draw on something, if I use the insert option, I could do one of two things. I'm on this surface, I could create more surface, or I can subtract. You see, it's a true solid. You could do mass calculation, all type of stuff with this. It's a real, behaves like a real solid because it is a real solid. Now, that's another way. And you have options for thickness, widths, and so forth like that. Another option using that same shape tool. You see how it goes to a point? And I kind of did that too quickly. But you have options for that too. So very, very powerful. If I wanted to make like a 3D wall, and I already have this set up for 5-inch. So this is a wall. Basically, this could be a basic room or something I was designing, or a box or a drawer in the case of woodworking. Then they have different drawing views. I could view them as lines, or what you call wireframe. I could view them as a solid. In this program, this is called shaded work view. Yes, and this one is the one that gives you shadows and so forth. So you can see the difference between the two views. This is the full shaded view. So using basic shapes and lines, these are different lines. You got splines, you got polylines, you got arcs, and all type of stuff like that. You can make just about anything in this program. FormZ is known as a general purpose modeling program, meaning it's kind of like me. It doesn't concentrate in no one particular area. It's a general purpose modeling package, and I really like that. It reminds me, it's like a 3D version of standard, regular drafting AutoCAD, which is the design program I was trained on originally. I'll give you a little taste of this program by opening up some projects I've done already. Little sample. There's the chair. Okay, this is a model that I created following a FormZ tutorial. And now this is it in the full shaded. And this is it in the, it looks pretty good in the modeling one too, and you have control over resolution. But the more detailed it is the more, powerful of a GPU that you need to be able to do stuff like turning it and do operations in real time. So in a work view, I like to keep the resolution pretty low. But if you wanted to look a little bit better and still be able to model, this is the shaded view. So using basic tools, I was able to create this. And because everything it creates is solids, one of the strong suits of FormZ is that you can export it in various file formats and send it to any other program, and you generally don't have a single problem or little to no problem it being translated, because that's one thing they do very well, is they create clean geometry. In SketchUp, you have all type of issue with geometry. You don't really find that with FormZ. It's solid in that department. So for example, if this was something I was building to go into like a CNC program or something like that, I could export this as a format that is, that can be viewed in Vectrix or some other program, and I would not have any issue. I would have in most cases no rework or very little rework, if any. So also, if you want to have like a client presentation and you think this is not high enough, if you put the work in, this allows you to introduce various lights and so forth like that to create a scene. But you can render it using the Render Zone plugin or V-Ray. In this case, I'm using Render Zone, and you'll see why I don't have V-Ray. To me, for what I do, this is more than adequate. You can see how good that looks. See what else I can show you guys. Also, wireframe. Now, I did say it was a general purpose modeler, right? But it does have a little bit of automation. They don't get carried away with it. They have a roof tool. Show you how often I use that. I think it's underneath. No, that's just, oh, this roof tool. If I click on any flat, you see, I just created a roof on that. Now it is very basic. It's not detailed. I would have to go in there and detail it, but it can do it. It also can generate stairs. And it has everything else that you would expect in a modeling package. You could do booleans and unions and stuff like that. Click. Let's see what it is. Come up here like this. I could join those two together using a union. Click, click. And now this is one a long time ago in a galaxy far, far, far away. Just kidding. I created a massing of a house. Here it is. Okay. This is called a massing. The reason why it's called a massing is this is a solid. There's no independent walls and rooms in here. I was just playing around. I have a set of plans in the studio, and I basically took a 2D set of plans and I made this 3D model. And Formzy was able to do it like a champ. I even did a little bit of detail. You can see the soffits have crown molding. It has the fascia boards and everything. Show you the amount of details you can create if you really put the effort into it. I use Formzy to create the roof. It's not straightforward. You have to, implement some technique. You got to use your brain, figure stuff out. Whereas a more specialized package, it would just be a click and it will figure it out for you. I mean, that's cool, but I like the flexibility that Formzy allots me. Okay, so that's cool. Let's get into something more up our alley. We're woodworkers, so we're back. Let me get rid of this. No, get rid of this. Okay. I was able to design this in Formzy. I haven't built it yet. I actually started it. You've seen parts of it in videos. You probably didn't even notice what it was, but this is supposed to be a chest drawer for my wife. Now the cool thing about the software, when I'm working and designing this, I have stuff on the inside that you can't see. And when I get ready to turn it into working drawings, I want to be able to, detail those items. So I could use something called a clipping plane. Come on, there it is. Make it visible. And what it allows me to do is cut in, see inside, see details on the inside. Stop like about right there. And I can even hatch them so I could differentiate between the parts in my drawing. And the cool thing about software like this is that you get to build everything in a virtual environment, and you can see what works, what doesn't work, what looks right, what doesn't look right, all before you touch a piece of wood. I'm getting the spinning beach ball. Let's see this thing catches up with me. Between using the 3D program and the screen recording, this is really tasking my Mac Mini. And And just like in anything else, I could view this in the working view, and I can also view it in the shaded, see shadows and so forth. And you can see the drawers in here. It has another trick that I haven't been utilizing, but I also could, similar to SketchUp, I could automate these drawers, have them go in and out and so forth with the program. So it's very powerful. And as I told you all before, because I have a molding machine and I brought in molding into this package, I could actually design and work with the actual pieces of molding that I intend to use. I really, really like that. Talking about that, these are moldings that I brought into this package from a local supplier that I got CAD files from, and I was able to bring it in. I haven't converted them all into components yet. Components is reusable pieces of drawings. You don't want to have to recreate them every time. You can use them in other drawings and so forth. These are baseboards, chair rails, all different type of molding. Now, with all of this said, the program is not perfect. I have some issues with it as far as slow development and so forth. But all in all, I really like this program, and I'm really rooting for them. In fact, I'm part of their family plan where I pay yearly to keep it, keep the program up to date, and that also help them too with development. But it's a very powerful CAD package, especially if you do this as a business. I think it would be very advantageous to you to get in this, and I prefer it over SketchUp. Coming out of AutoCAD, SketchUp was the first type of 3D type modeling program that I really use outside of AutoCAD, and I never liked it. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people liked SketchUp. I never liked SketchUp. I could never wrap my head around it. It felt too much like a toy. And the issues that I was having with it, it was not worth it to me, free or otherwise. But a lot of people like it. Form Z is my preference. Now, they also have a 2D element to it, but the 2D element is not fully fleshed out yet. I don't even use it. It's not to my liking. I have tried it and it's not ready yet. So in the interim, I had been using another CAD package that was very powerful. I loved it very much, but it seemed like it's gone away. It's no longer being developed. And the next time I go over a software with you guys, it's probably going to be the newest one I'm looking at that is very affordable and is excellent for doing documentation, basically doing 2D drawings. And it's called QCAD. One day I'll go over that with y'all. But this is Form Z. You'll be seeing more of this. I may even give a class in the future on it. And it's very powerful, as you can see. I'm manipulating this with a device called a 3D mouse. It's by a company called, I think it's called 3D Connection. It's very good for applications like this. Before I leave, I want to show you, I spoke about the ability to share in many different file formats. 3ds, DAE, DWF, DWG, which is AutoCAD, DXF. All of these is different format. Even SketchUp, Twin Motion, a lot. and they're adding more STL. You use this for CNC a lot, and step. Even object is very powerful in a sense that you could generate geometry and export it into other programs. So you may have one of those other programs that limits you in as far as, you know, what you can make with it, but it's more powerful in the automation sense. You can create something in here and export it to that program and use it in that program. So it can be used as a standalone program, and it also could be used in conjunction with other programs depending on what you're doing. Maybe 3D animation. I know this is for woodworking we're talking about right now, but if you're an individual that do 3D animation or you do something else, you can use FormZ in your workflow. For us, how this is used in our workflow, other than the CNC stuff I just told you, those file formats that work well for CNC, our workflow is you get to create the project. Before you create the project, and you get to validate that project or that idea before you get too far into buying material or wasting material. And you can use the information in a model to generate working drawings. I don't really want to call, I guess we can call it a review or a demo of FormZ. And I'm here to tell you, it's not a perfect program, but I do like it a lot. There is a free version, you can check it out. There's also a trial for the full version, you can check it out. And it's available on Mac and PC. Thank you for watching and have a good day. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to be notified when new content is dropped on this channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and drop a comment down below.